welcome back on my channel. It's spooky season! Now tell me this, what would be eating sweet stuff all wrapped up in a cozy throw in a rainy autumn day with a scented pumpkin spice candle crackling in the atmosphere without movies? I'm well aware that there are thousands of lists like this already on the internet. I'm not gonna lie, I had to look at them just to, you know, start the sprinkles of imagination going. They're alright, they're okay, but I wanted to take my own take on that and add some movies that I didn't see in any of those that I think deserve attention, and I wanted to do it a little different. So some of them are classics, because we don't spit on a good classic. Some classics didn't make it, they just don't do it for me. So I made a list of 31 movies that I think about a weird amount throughout the year, and we're gonna go back in time today, kiddos. A lot of the films on my list are old, but give them a chance, they're really good. I guess I'm just looking for a bit of my long lost childhood through Halloween and the remains of the past century. Aren't we all? This light is so bright. And to be honest, old movies with bad special effects but amazing makeup, they just do it best. You know that. It just creates a whole different vibe. Where's it gone? Where have the good days gone? Anyway, for this list, I really try to focus on that supernatural vibe rather than, you know, only adding movies about killers that kill random kiddos. Fight me. So I've separated those movies in 5 categories. The first one being horror or thriller, like I sort of put them together. Second one being dark, weird, and unsettling. Could be scary, maybe isn't. Then obviously we can't have a Halloween list without having a whole category for Tim Burton. I mean, he's a king. He's the king of the vibe. The other one is supernatural. And then we got the childhood memories. Let's start right now with the horror and thriller. The first movie on this list is Martyrs. I don't know how to pronounce this. Martyrs. Why can't I speak English anymore? You know what movie I'm talking about? It's the 2008 original French version. While doing my research, I found out they made a remake. What the fuck, Hollywood? Oh my god, that movie, it's one of the very rare horror movie that scared me so much I couldn't sleep. And for weeks after that, I was like going in my basement. I didn't want to go in my basement. I called them creatures. They're not creatures, they're human, but whatever. I would see them in the shades and the shadows and the blah, blah, blah. I'm having chills. I've seen it once and that was enough. It scarred me. Watch it. Anyway, so it's the story of this girl who was sequestrated when she was younger. The people who did this to her and like several other people, she found where they lived like years after, and she decides to kill them. That's like the very beginning of the movie. Shit goes down. Second movie is The Others. Halloween cannot be without a good ghost story. It's a story of a mother with her 2 children. Her children are like allergic to the sun, so they have to live inside all the time, keep the curtains closed, and they live in like this big mansion, the creepy mansion. Ghost stuff happens, and I really like that movie. I enjoy it a lot. Movie number 3 is Hide and Seek. It's a 2005 movie and it stars Robert De Niro and Dakota Fanning. Dakota Fanning. And it's nice because it's like during fall season, so it like really puts you in the mood. It's a dad and his daughter. They move because they want to forget like bad experiences. But then the little girl in the new house, she keeps saying that like she's got a new imaginary friend, but he makes her do creepy stuff. I've watched it several times, and I mean, Robert De Niro, do it for Robert. Fourth movie, The Sixth Sense, 50 cents. Another classic with Bruce Willis. Is he a therapist? He's helping out this little child. He sees dead people. I see dead people. That's really all you need to know about it. I'm so bad at doing okay synopsis without telling the punch, so I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. We don't always think about it for Halloween. Just watch The Sixth Sense, like it makes sense. Oh, did I keep that one in? Number 5, Oculus. It's about this like Victorian era mirror. It's possessed anyone in contact with this mirror. It makes them go crazy. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I always think about it when I think horror movie that I like. I don't know why. So I put it on the list, but I don't really remember the movie. Those 2 siblings, I think something happened to their parents. The girl finds it in like an antique shop or something. She finds the mirror and she wants to prove to the world that this mirror is fucked up. Fucked up shit happens. I don't know. If you haven't seen it, try it. Ghosts. What would be a list and a category of scary movies if I didn't include at least one Stephen King? To be honest, I'm not the biggest fan. It's weird. But that one I've seen again many times. It's 1408. Samuel L. Jackson is in there. It's a story about this guy who lost his daughter. He's an author and he writes books books about like haunted places. Most of it is made up because he hasn't really encountered any real ghosts. He just like made it up for his books because it was selling. But now he's like, he really wants proof of the afterlife. So he hears about this hotel room 1408. People who stayed there never came out, like they just died in there, and he's just like, whatever, I don't believe in this, so I'm gonna go spend a night there. And so the nightmare begins. I really like this type of movie where you only have one setting. It's not about the shots, it's not about what we see. I mean, sort of, but you know what I mean. It's really about the story. So movie number 7 is Pan's Labyrinth. It's like this fantasy, but dark. Of course, it's Guillermo del Toro. He's like the Spanish Tim Burton. It's during World War II. It's like uncertain times. This little girl, her life's not great. She's reading this legend and she ends up being in it, sort of. She has to accomplish some tasks, sort of really creepy. If you've ever seen that picture of like the Tenome. Movie number 8 is still a movie from Guillermo del Toro. That one just blew my mind. It's The Orphanage. If you've seen it, you know. I hope your heart is solid. This mom with her child, she buys an old orphanage. I think that's where she grew up. So she decides to buy the place and like renovate it. And they're having a little celebration at some point with like many children. When everyone leaves, she can't find her child. There's like this other child that has like a bag on his face. He's there, but you think it's just like this weird child in a disguise, but then you're also like, is this a ghost? Anyway, her own child disappears and she freaks out, obviously. She finds little clues left there by ghosts. They try to help her find her son. It's sort of like a treasure run. Is that how it's called? Anyway, spooky vibe. It's just this great movie. It's a must. Film number 9, the original Evil Dead. This trilogy is golden. I put it in dark and unsettling because it's actually more funny than scary in my opinion. Honestly, you can watch either the first or second. I have personally watched more of the third one, although it might be a little less Halloween-y. This guy and a group of people in the first one go into a cabin in the woods. The woods and the cabin are sort of haunted. You get attacked by like spirits and skeletons and a witch. Is that a witch in the basement? I don't know. It's been way too long. The second one I think also goes on in the cabin. The third one, I forget how, but he just go back in the past in the medieval time, and then he wakes up by mistake the army of darkness. It's all dead people. They gotta fight against the zombies. Basically, it's an army of zombies. Okay, now this one, we're going in 1999, The Hunting. And this one I had to rewatch the trailer because it had been many years since I've seen it. I always wanted to rewatch it. It's such a simple title, but I forgot. Hey, but I did not expect that. Like, I watched that movie a lot when I was younger. I just thought the vibe in that house, it was something. It was mysterious. It had like secret passages. And in the trailer, this woman goes, "Is this where you're going?" And Liam Neeson, oh yeah, it stars Liam Neeson. Liam Neeson goes, "Oh yeah, that's Hill House. It's perfect, isn't it?" Excuse me? I had no idea that movie was related to the Netflix show at all. Very different. Not remotely the same thing. In that version, it's essentially this guy who wants to conduct a study about insomnia. And it's in a mansion that happens to be haunted. Or is it? Yeah, not the same at all. It's not like That Little Family. It's like really a lot about delusion. That movie actually inspired me to write my very first ghost story when I was a small person. Movie number 11, and we're jumping right in the Tim Burton category with Coraline. That movie is supposedly for children, but oh my god. So essentially, Coraline's family just moved into this pink palace. It's this big old house. She discovers that there's like this little door through the wall. Eventually, she finds the key and she opens the door and goes on the other side, and on the other side is her house. But it's essentially another world, another version of her house, another version of her parents, and they have buttons instead of their eyes. It's sort of really creepy, but it's this perfect Wonderland version of a life that she doesn't have, so she's like, oh, that's really cool, until it's not all that cool. So without saying any more, I just really love that movie, so I watched it a lot, so it had to be on my list. Number 12 is Beetlejuice. Ladies and gents. That movie is a classic. This couple dies, so now they're ghosts, and they're sort of really bothered when a new family comes in their house. So they're like, okay, how do we do to get rid of them? They decide to call Beetlejuice, who's played by Michael Keaton. Beetlejuice is this sort of demon that even the afterlife is just like, don't call fucking Beetlejuice. Like, he's banned, he's out, he's on the blacklist of the afterlife. So this guy just creates a mess, and that's sort of what they want. It's very badly explained, but it's a great movie. It's got weird snakes. Yeah. Movie number 13, Sweeney Todd. Ooh. Here comes Johnny Depp. Hi. I sing the songs from that movie every day. I got issues, but I like it. It's not the regular musical you would expect. It's the story of this man who returns to London with a taste for vengeance. As this judge stole his wife and his daughter. Back in the day, he sent Sweeney to prison, and now he's come back. He wants to kill him because he's a barber, so he's just like, I'm just gonna... But then by doing so, he just ends up killing half of the city and making pies with them. You know, just your regular musical. When you want to be in the dark vibe, I put Sweeney Todd on and I'm in the darkness. Movie number 14, Mars Attacks. I felt like I needed to add at least one alien movie, and that one scared the crap out of me as a child. To this day, I'm kind of still scared to watch it. I just don't like the vibe of it. To make a long story short, Martians come on Earth and people are just like, wow, Martians. They're kind of enthused until they realize they're actually attacking them. Number 15, we're going back in 1999. Back to 1999. Sleepy Hollow. Yes, Johnny Depp is here again. So the character of Johnny Depp is sent to investigate the deaths of many people who have lost their heads, and the people in the village believe that it's the doing of the Headless Horseman. They say that he brought them back to hell. I'm not doing this accent ever again. It's got the Victorian creepy vibe. I don't know what to add anymore. Just you know, they all got the same atmosphere. You get it. I'm gonna call it the vibe. Oh, hi. You've just watched the first part of my list of Halloween movies. I decided to split it in half because turns out I talk a lot, man. I really hope you appreciated that first part and stay tuned for part 2. In the original outro, I also did a little announcement, so stay tuned for that as well. You can follow me on all of my social medias and also subscribe to this video if you liked it. Give it a thumbs up and let me know what you thought of it in the comments. Bye bye.